Okay, so our subscribers are asking, how did STLFLIX started? This is a long story, and so let's get into it. I was in a relationship that wasn't the best relationship for me, but I didn't break up because I was afraid of the breaking up process, so I was avoiding it. And when I realized I was in this relationship just because I didn't want to move out of my comfort zone, I broke up and I decided that I wouldn't be stuck at a place just because I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone. And then I watched a movie of a guy that was traveling the whole Europe, Asia, everywhere by bicycle. And I said to myself, well, that will be completely out of my comfort zone. I must do it. And I did. I bought a flight to south of Argentina, the southest city in the whole world. And I started there. I traveled by bicycle during 10 months. I crossed more or less 4 different countries. And when I was crossing the border between Chile and Bolivia, it was the toughest road I have ever been. It was 5,000 meters high on altitude, so very low oxygen. It was very hard to breathe. It was unpaved road. I could find water every 3 or 4 days. I had to carry food for 12 days. So my bicycle was like very, very heavy. And it was very challenging, but I could do it. This path was around 500 kilometers, but I got injured. I got an injury on my back, and I had to stop for 1 month to treat myself. And as I didn't have much to do, I ended up with a new girlfriend in Peru. But when I left my work, I wasn't paid for what I was supposed to be paid, so I had no money left and I had to go back to Brazil. And when I was back in Brazil, Brazil wasn't going through a good economical situation, so I wasn't going to get a good job. My friends that were mechanical engineers, as I am, they didn't have the jobs that they wanted to, so I decided it would be a very good opportunity to try to start a company. So I saw this product on Shark Tank that it was a glove that had LED on each finger point, and then you turn off the lights, you move your fingers, you do a dance, and he sold like $13 million of these gloves. And I said, what the hell, people really like lights. So I started to brainstorm about light products, and I always had these gift ideas that were something that I could give to my girlfriend that she would have close to her bed, or that she would remind of me, for example. And then when I was working in these light ideas, I thought, well, maybe I could create something that when she turns out the light, it projects a message. Good night, my love. Good night, honey. Good night, dear, whatever. And when I thought about it, I was very, very excited about it. I was thinking, this is going to sell a lot. I would buy it for sure. I must do it. And I couldn't sleep for 3 days in a row, like just being anxious about doing this. So I ended up with Unique Box. That is this wooden box that is made with laser cut. So we have 4 different sides. There are standard, depending on the different module that the person can choose. And there is a side that has a message that can be customized. So when you turn it on, it will project the customized message on the wall. So I decided to create a website. I created a website on Wix. I didn't know anything about creating websites, selling online, taking pictures, nothing. But I did my best, and I came out with a horrible website, but it was online. So I published it on my Facebook page. I said, it's live, this is Unique Box, Your girlfriend is going to love it. So it was Christmas 2016. I sold 20 units, 15 for friends and family, and 5 to other people that arrived, and thank you for purchasing it. And that was the beginning of Unique Box. But after Christmas, I couldn't sell any more units. I was living at my parents' house. I had no job. I was trying to sell this wooden box. I was a mechanical engineer that had a good job before going to this bike trip. So I was being questioned a lot by my parents. Where do you think this souvenir is going to take you? Go get a job, go do something. You can't waste your life doing this. And that was tough because even though I believed on the project, I wasn't sure it was going to work or even if I wasn't wasting my time. But I started to publish on marketplaces, so it started to sell. People started to ask for new models for different professions, hobbies, and I started to do these models that people were asking, and then I started to have more sales because my catalog was bigger. And in January I had 30 sales, February 70 sales, 100 sales on March, 200 in April, and close to the Valentine's Day that in Brazil is in June, I decided to click on the promote button on Facebook. I said, well, it's Valentine's Day, everyone is going to purchase a gift, so let's try. I had a picture and I promoted. And when I started to got like 10 sales a day, 20, 50, 100. I reached 200 sales a day. And it was crazy. I was still at my parents' house and I had one new person coming to help us manufacturing it every day. I didn't have the machine at that period. I was paying someone that had the machine to laser cut it, and I was assembling at my own place. And I mean, at the beginning I was doing literally everything. I was manufacturing, writing the descriptions, taking the pictures, everything, and I had no idea. I had like 10 people working with me after 5 months of starting this business. My parents that were not very supportive with me at the beginning, when they saw that this project was working, they were helping me to pack the products, and they were happy to see me doing what I wanted to do. So it was a great sensation. It was a great feeling to see that it was working, it was happening. And I had the opportunity to sponsor a local entrepreneur event. So I created the Unique Box with this company logo, and all the speakers of this event, they received one. And one of these speakers was a reporter from a very important show in Brazil, entrepreneur show, the biggest entrepreneur show in Brazil. And I arrived to her and I told her, so this is Unique Box I created, and I went to a bike trip, I had a girlfriend, I had to come back, I thought about a gift, and this is Unique Box. I sold 6,000 units on the first year. She said, that's awesome, you're going to be at the show, give me a call, let's do it. And it was amazing. I mean, the audience was huge. After 5 seconds, it went on air. My phone didn't stop to vibrate for like hours. And we had tons of sales, a lot of stores wanting to resell our products, a lot of people calling me, I just saw at the show, congratulations, it's awesome. And it was really, really cool. And the next day, I got a phone call from Shark Tank Production. And they said, we saw you at the show yesterday and we'd like to invite you to apply to our casting. And I thought, wow, that would be so out of my comfort zone. I must do it. The program really inspired me to start this company, so I had to go. So I prepared myself a lot. I ran a lot of different Shark Tank simulations with very skilled people on business, and I told them, no mercy, they won't have any mercy. And when I arrived at the day of the show, I was very, very anxious. And when I was already inside of the tank, just about to go really inside, I was in the backstage, I started to remember that I was on my regular job, and I decided to start to get out of my comfort zone. I went to a bike trip, then I started a company inspired on this show, and then I was the same exactly show, just about to get in. When the last shark was talking, he made an offer, we closed the deal, and it was like a great relief. I came back to my city, to my company, and I started to run the company, and I started to execute the plan that I had, and we started to grow a lot the company, and the contact with the shark wasn't as fast as I wish, so I started to live the life normally, and the company was growing a lot. Like I increased my sales 50%, 20% the first month, 50% the second month, double it the next month, double it again, and 10 months after the tank, I had already the investment amount I was asking on the company's bank account. And I saw that the availability of the shark wouldn't be as much as I wish, so I decided to decline the deal and move alone. And I believe it was a great choice because I sold 6,000 units the first year, 16,000 units the second one, 30,000 units, then 70,000 units, and then 80,000 units. And I had around 6,000 units when I went to the tank, and 7 years later I had 200,000 units. So I believe it was a great decision. It was kind of my dream to have a shark by my side, but it was a dream even bigger to have a company going the way it did. So it was a great experience to be part of this box story. So one of the saddest part about Unique Box was that I had a lot of piracy problems. People were copying a lot my products. When I started, I applied to a patent that was granted 5 years later. But during this period, I had people copying my photographs, my product 100%, not respecting my patent because it wasn't granted. And that was very hard at the beginning. It wasn't impacting my sales, but it was literally impacting my mental health. I did a lot of therapy because the feeling of people using what you created and not respecting your rights, it's horrible. I mean, the feeling sucks. So even though I was doing very well at the business, this feeling was consuming me and made me want to do something else, to be honest. And the good news is that at that period I knew Bruno already, and I saw that he had like 200,000 followers and I had like 60,000, and I thought, well, he must be selling like crazy amounts of these products. I have to contact him to know what he's doing. So I sent him a message, we started to talk a lot about online sales, productions, new products, all kind of stuff, and we got closer. And one day we talked a lot about the piracy issues because I had it, he had it, and it was as consuming for me as it was for him, so it was like a therapy group. And he told me that he was thinking about creating a subscription because these people that were copying him were paying 3D modelers to copy his models all the time. So he said, well, I could create a subscription that I would provide people the models legally and even the photos and everything. And I said, well, that's a horrible idea. But we saw another Brazilian company that was doing miniatures subscriptions, and they were growing a lot. And we saw that there were solo designers that were creating models for FDM printers, and they had like 2,000, 3,000 subscribers. That would be like $20,000, $30,000 on subscriptions fees. And that in Brazil, it's a lot of money. And we thought that we could create Bruno's models, we could hire a team of skilled designers and create a lot of content for $20,000 or $30,000. And that would be great for our subscribers, for example. And then we decided to go for it.